My wife looked straight at me across the dinner table and said, I was not worth the money anymore. For a few seconds, nobody moved. My children stared at their plates. Her family sat completely silent. I could feel every pair of eyes watching me, while I tried to understand what had just happened. Then I discovered something even worse. My wife had been hiding my cancer results from me. For weeks, I had been wondering why I felt so weak, why I was losing weight, why she kept telling me everything was fine whenever I asked about the tests. She knew. She had known all along. I felt completely betrayed and helpless. Then my phone rang. It was my oncologist. And the words he said next changed everything. I have been married to Nora for 23 years. I believed that no matter what happened in life, we would face it together. That belief died at our dinner table. My health had been getting worse for months. I was constantly exhausted and had pain that I could not explain. My doctor ordered several tests and told me the results would be discussed soon. I asked Nora about them every day because she had offered to check the patient portal while I was resting. Every time I asked, she gave me the same answer. Nothing serious. Just some numbers that need watching. I trusted her. That night, both our families were visiting. The table was full of food, but I barely touched mine. I was tired and worried about another hospital appointment the next morning. Then Nora suddenly looked at me and said I was not worth spending all that money on anymore. The room went silent. At first, I thought I had heard her wrong. I asked her what she meant. She leaned back and said we had already spent enough on doctors and tests. She said our savings should be used for the future, instead of being wasted on someone who might not have much of one left. That sentence hit me harder than any diagnosis could have. I looked around the table. Nobody defended me. Nobody told her to stop. My own children looked shocked but said nothing. I stood up and walked away before anyone could see me cry. In the bedroom, I opened my laptop and checked the patient portal myself. That was when I found them. My test results. The results had been posted almost 3 weeks earlier. There were messages from my doctor asking me to call immediately. There were appointment reminders that had somehow disappeared from my phone. And there was a note showing that Nora had contacted the office and said she would help manage my appointments because I was too stressed. My hands started shaking. She had hidden everything from me. I walked back into the dining room holding the laptop. Nora saw my face and immediately knew. I asked her one question. How long have you known? She could not answer. I asked again. How long? Finally, she whispered that she had known for nearly 3 weeks. Everyone at the table froze. I asked why she kept it from me. She said she did not know how to tell me. But then another relative quietly asked why she had also started talking about selling my belongings and changing our financial plans. That was when the real truth began to come out. Nora had been preparing for a future without me before. I even knew what was wrong with my health. She had spoken to people about money. She had complained about medical expenses. She had even told one family member that my illness would destroy everything she wanted to do with her life. I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath me. The person I trusted most had known about the worst possible moment of my life. And instead of holding my hand, she had decided I was a burden. Then my phone rang. The entire room heard it. I looked down and saw the name of my oncologist. For a second, I could not answer. Then I did. He asked if I was somewhere private. I told him no. Everyone was listening. There was a short pause. Then he said something I will never forget. He told me the tests did show cancer. My heart stopped. But before fear could take over, he continued. He said the cancer had been found early. He said it was treatable. And he said my prognosis was very good because the disease had been caught before it had spread further. I closed my eyes. For 3 weeks, I had been living with unanswered questions because my wife had stolen my right to know the truth. But now I had the truth, and I had a future. When I ended the call, nobody said a word. I looked at Nora and told her that she had made one terrible mistake. She thought my illness gave her control over my life. But she had forgotten something. I was still here. I was still thinking, and I was still able to make my own decisions. That night, I called my doctor myself. I changed every password. I removed Nora from access to my medical information. I spoke with a lawyer about protecting my finances and my rights. And for the first time in weeks, I stopped asking her what my future would look like, because my future was no longer hers to decide. Cancer did not destroy me. The betrayal almost did. My wife thought hiding the truth would leave me weak and dependent on her. Instead, the truth gave me my life back. My oncologist gave me hope. And my own wife gave me the final reason to stop trusting someone who had already decided I was not worth saving. I walked away from that dinner table feeling completely betrayed and helpless. But when I went to sleep that night, I understood something powerful. I had cancer. But I was not finished. I had been lied to, but I was no longer blind. And the man everyone silently expected to disappear was finally ready to fight for his life. Not for their money, not for their approval, for himself.